What would it take to be able to successfully expand the Supreme Court? Is there anything that realistically could be done to expand the number of justices to the Supreme Court? Article 3 of the USC grants Congress the authority to legislate the framework of federal courts, which was explicated upon through the Judiciary Act of 1789. An interesting argument I've read based their reasoning for expansion on the fact that, since the court was last expanded in 1869, there are 4 federal circuit courts that are not accounted for under the current bench 13 federal court circuits. It won't happen. Highly unpopular move. FDR tried it, and then got destroyed in the 1938 midterms, just 2 years after his landslide. If Biden tries it, something similar could occur, possibly even worse. Even if they did something like that, who's to say the Republicans wouldn't just expand it again on their own terms? It wouldn't ever stop. It can't be done successfully. If the Democrats do it, then the Republicans will do it, and it will make things worse. There should be 13 seats for the 13 districts. It would be near impossible to unilaterally expand the court, and it would be seen as politically motivated. It has to be bipartisan, and the only way that happens is with a 2-2 split of the new justices. Which means a lot of political capital is used to change nothing. No shot unless the court makes a decision that goes against the Constitution. As long as they make legally sound decisions, there won't be the support to pack the court. An extraordinary combination of hubris, arrogance and ignorance in an overwhelming majority of the voting populace. Much, really. 62 Democratic senators, 230 Democratic House members, and a Democratic president. I don't necessarily think it even needs expanded. And I don't think Biden would do it given his past comments. However, we have 2 justices that have been caught taking bribes, not disclosing them, and then not refusing themselves in cases where the parties that bribed them were pleading before the court. The simple solution is to impeach both of them, and replace them. 5-4 liberal majority without expansion of the court. A bill passed by Congress that increases the size of SCOTUS. Personally, I'm a fan of expanding to 1N, where N is the number of circuit courts at any given point in time. Each justice must be from a different circuit bench, and the CJ is voted on by the sitting members, who can't cast a vote for themselves for being CJ. It would take an elimination of the filibuster, and passing a law to pack the court. That's it. But then you would deal with the fact that the GOP would also expand. And so on and so on. Court expansion is a terrible idea. I'm not sure why you are getting downvoted. I think it's about time for a serious expansion of Supreme Court from 9 to at least 13, adding 1 member every 4 years. As the country expanded since the 19th century, geographically and population-wise, we need more experts to bring their understanding of Constitution. I suppose diversity of minds is a toxic word these days, similar to people who suffer from ignorance and xenophobia. If things were switched with 6-3 in the Republicans in minority, they would do it in a heartbeat. Heck, they would make it a campaign promise. I'd prefer to see corrupt and illegitimately appointed justices impeached and removed, but whatever gets results. In practice, what the status quo Dems will do is complain mildly and take no action whatsoever as we continue to slide towards totalitarianism. Expanding the court does nothing, as Republicans are already breaking the law and not allowing Democrat and moderate-aligned judges to be appointed. The only options right now are ignore their decisions or unilaterally strip them from power. Expanding the court is a horrifying and terrifying idea from both sides, and shouldn't be even talked about. It would create triple the problems we have now. We need term limits, simple as that, but getting that idea through won't happen. Best the filibuster, and I doubt both sides in Congress want it. The current court is chewing up the foundation of the country. If they are acting in wholly partisan manner, and are legislating from the bench, then there really is no point in having the courts. Judicial review needs to be called into question. Ignoring any should be done or shouldn't be done concerns, at a minimum, you have to win a federal trifecta before you could stack the court. In theory, having 60 senators would be enough to change the law, but in practice, you would need more than 60 senators, likely a supermajority. It is highly unlikely one political party will have a supermajority federal trifecta in the next 30 years. Congress would have to pass the laws allowing it and then pass the judges to fill the new seats. It has happened a few times throughout history, but I doubt it will happen unless something massively happened politically or one side got 60 seats. Legally? I think the correct question is, what would it take to expand the House of Representatives so that they can realistically represent the interests of their constituents? All it takes is a congressional majority. There doesn't need to be any reasoning or justification. All it takes is legislation. Will it be done? Likely not, though the possibility grows every day. Should it be done? Absolutely. Our modern Supreme Court is one of the most corrupt in history. They're a rouge court who rules on their own ideology, and not what's precedent and right. From a practical standpoint, it's considered dangerous, even if it's a good idea. It only takes having presidency and Senate to actually do, and Dems are scared since the Senate is more easily GOP controlled. The Fascist Six made this possible. Now if the Dems can get behind their candidates, we can get this done in 2025. Clear majority in the House, 60 votes in the Senate, and a president who campaigns on the issue. Democrats in control could expand the court, and when the Republicans take over the next time they could put it back or expand it themselves. Careful what you wish for. The key is successfully expanding the Supreme Court, then gaining in numerical advantage, and then freeze any further explanation. Then you just need outlaw voting Republican. Democracy, folks, it's just that simple.